Good morning YouTubians, it's Chemist Ghost. It's Monday the 8th of April 2024. On my way to HMV because it's a Blu-ray release day. Not a lot out, but I'm after 2 titles today, but I also picked up one during the week. Gonna go out there, grab a coffee, and then I'll take you back, show you what I picked up. Let's go. There is a brand new blue plaque erected in Brighton to mark the half century since ABBA won the Eurovision Song Contest, right here at the Brighton Dome on the 6th of April 1974 with the song Waterloo. England, by the way, came fourth that year. Okay, let me share a secret with you. I am partial to a latte from Costa Coffee from time to time. Yes, I know it's a shock to the system, but I thought I would put it out there for you today. Those Arabica beans and the quietness of my local Costa is by far the best way to start the day. So, as I walk into HMV, they are advertising in the window a PS5 controller and console with £60 off the price. And the t-shirt on display this week and probably next week too is Spy Family. First title today is Beauty of Beauties, the first film by Han Xing-Li after leaving the Shaw Brothers Studios and moving to Taiwan. It's told through the story of Xixi, who was one of the 4 great beauties of Chinese history. It's a story of 2 warring kingdoms around 2 to 500 BC, give or take. This Blu-ray is priced at $16.99. Next is Hamlet, starring Sir Ian McKellen. Now, he's no stranger to the role, having played the Prince on stage in 1971 and here again at the Theatre Royal in Windsor under the direction of Sean Mathias. Also stars Jonathan Hyde, Frances Anne, Jenny Seagrove and Francis Barber. £12.99 for this one today. Next is an anime called My Next Life as a Villainess, All Routes Lead to Doom. It's about a young woman who one day bumps her head, which leads to some memories from a past life. This is season 1, which aired in Japan in 2020 and into 2021. It's got a runtime of 300 minutes. So next we have Baghead, a horror from last year. It's about a woman who inherits a pub from her father. Trouble is, it has a creature in its basement which can turn into a paying customer's lost loved one for a 2-minute conversation. But don't go over those 2 minutes or there will be consequences. Sounds a lot like Let Me In a way. This one is priced at £14.99 and carries a 15 certificate. What Happens Later is a rom-com drama about 2 old flames that reconnect at a snowed-in airport overnight. This was co-written by, starring and directed by Meg Ryan, also stars David Duchovny. This one is priced at £14.99 and also carries a 15 certificate. That Cold Day in the Park next, a psychological thriller from 1969. This was directed by Robert Altman and it stars Sandy Dennis and Michael Burns. Follows a young woman who inherits an apartment and forms an unusual attachment to a younger man. This one is priced at £17.99 and it carries a 15 certificate. Here we have Next Goal Wins, a Disney Buena Vista release from last year, directed by Taika Waititi and starring Michael Fassbender, Jai Manor and Oscar Knightley. This is the story of an underdog football team who needs a new coach to improve their game. £14.99 for this one. The legendary hero is dead, the complete first season next, an anime show from last year about a hero named Sion Bladen who dies and the man responsible, who is now trapped in his body, must take his place and defeat the Demon King. Luckily, he is not alone. This one has a runtime of 300 minutes and carries a 15 certificate. All That Money Can Buy Now, also known as The Devil and Daniel Webster. This is about a farmer who makes a deal with the devil for a prosperous 7 years in exchange for his soul. But when the time runs out, he hires a brilliant lawyer to help him out of his predicament. This Criterion release is priced at £22.99. Okay, I thought I'd show you this. It's Priscilla on DVD. Blu-ray is out today. Unfortunately, it wasn't delivered to the Brighton branch. They are expecting 10 copies in, though, any day soon. This is priced at £9.99. Hey everybody, welcome back. So there's two new titles and a back catalogue title, so I'm going to crack straight on with it. Okay, first one I'm going to show you is Next Goal Wins. This is a heartwarming sports drama with comedy elements sprinkled in for good measure. Directed by Taika Waititi. Now he is the man behind Hunt for the Wilder People, Jojo Rabbit, the last two Thor films, so you're either going to like him or not. Now this is based on a true story. Obviously Hollywood's tweaked some of the facts to add to the dramatisation of it all. But the premise is this. You got a football coach called Thomas Rongan who is being played by Michael Fassbender, and he's given an ultimatum: either lose his job or take on and coach the American Samoa national team. And they're possibly the worst football team to have ever existed. They actually lost in one game by 31 goals to nil. Now I'm no football fan, but I know that's not good. Anyway, obviously he chooses the latter, travels to America Samoa for the World Cup qualifiers. Now in case you're wondering, America Samoa is equivalent to our Falkland Islands. It's a very small island, thousands of miles away from the mainland. It's actually closer to Fiji and the Cook Islands. It's actually closer to Australia than it is to America. Anyway, it's one of those films, those feel-good films that makes you root for the underdog. Other cast members include Kaimana as Jaya, equivalent or as good as Fassbender in the film, standout character. Oscar Knightley as the president of the football club. He's previously worked with the director as well on Hunt for the Wilder People. In addition, you've got Beulah Kawale, who you may know from the rebooted TV show Hawaii Five-0. He was in that as well. And there's also Will Arnett and Elizabeth Moss, but in smaller roles. Now, music is provided by Michael Giacchino, who I've mentioned many times. His work includes the Fringe TV show, Cloverfield, Ratatouille, Super 8, the last three Star Trek films, the last two Planet of the Apes films, Rogue One, and the last three live-action Spider-Man movies, and many more as well. An incredible talent. This film's got a runtime 103 minutes. Let's take a look inside. So you get a plain blue disc, and this, by the way, is available to watch on Disney Plus, so you can try it before you buy it. So that was Next Goal Wins. Okay, next one to show you is What Happens Later. This is a rom-com that's directed by and starring Meg Ryan. This was her first film in 8 years. I know she was in Top Gun Maverick, but that was just archive footage that they used, so it doesn't really count. So it kind of made me curious as to what project would bring her back. She's playing the character Wilhelmina Davis, or Willa as she's referred to in the movie, and the only other co-star in this, because the whole film comprises of just these two actors, is Bill Davis, being played by David Duchovny, who I'm starting to think is morphing into Walter Matthau, looks-wise, not acting ability. I should also point out that despite having the same surname in the movie, they weren't playing an actual married couple in the movie. It's just a coincidence. Anyway, Willa and Bill, they were a dating couple back in the 90s. They've since split up, moved on with their lives. Bill is now a stockbroker. He's married, got a daughter. Willa is one of those wellness gurus. She also had a child, but she gave it up for adoption, which I won't elaborate on. So we have Willa and Bill happen to be in the same airport, taking different flights, when a snowstorm starts, resulting in the grounding of both their aircraft. Now, story-wise, I won't give anything else away. It was actually shot in a real-life airport in northwest Arkansas. Now, I did mention there were only 2 visible actors. There was in fact a third actor, but in voice role only. It's the airport tannoy announcer, voiced by, is credited as Hal Leggett, which is a pseudonym. People have suggested it's Tom Hanks, which Meg actually denies in interviews. It does sound like him though. Other people have speculated it could be Eddie Vedder, the lead singer from Pearl Jam, but nothing has been confirmed yet. Music, again, provided by Michael Giacchino. See, I told you he was in demand. Great composer. It's got a runtime this of 104 minutes. Let's take a look inside. So that front cover image has been put onto the disc. So that was What Happens Later. Okay, next and last is Town on Trial. This is a British neo-noir thriller from 1957, directed by John Gilliman. Now his films include Tower Inferno, Death on the Nile from 1978, the 1976 King Kong movie, plus many, many more. Stars the brilliant John Mills. Now I've talked about him before. He's starred in over 120 movies, including one of my favourites, The Swiss Family Robinson, where he played the family's matriarch. Well, here he is playing Detective Superintendent Mike Holloran, and he is sent in to investigate the death of a young woman called Molly Stevens, who's being played by Madge Miller. She is kind of like a Marilyn Monroe, beautiful, blonde, curvaceous, lusted over by all the men, despised by all the women. She's killed in a tennis club via strangulation. Turns out she was 2 months pregnant at the time, and the suspect pool is large, and the secrets among its club members are all revealed. Also stars Maureen Connell. She is or was married to the director at the time. You've got Derek Farr, who's playing a womanizer, so-say war hero. Turns out he's lying. Oddly enough, he did play Group Captain Whitworth in the 1955 classic Dambusters just 2 years later. Also, you got the Academy Award winner for More the Merrier in 1943, Charles Coburn. He's playing Dr. Fenner, who certifies Molly's death, and his on-screen niece is Elizabeth, being played by Barbara Bates, who actually tragically took her own life just 12 years later. Picture quality on this was not the best, did have a fair amount of green light, but given that it's knocking on 70 years old, wasn't really a distraction. It's got a runtime just 96 minutes, this one. Let's take a look inside. So a close-up of that front cover image has been put onto the disc. And on the reverse of the cover, you have other titles advertised. So that was Town on Trial. So that was it. Have you seen any of those? Plan to pick them up? Just want to leave a comment and do so down below. I will read every single one and try to reply if I have the time. Give the video a thumbs up, really does help the channel, and subscribe if you haven't. It's all free, why wouldn't you? On that note, all that's left to say is thank you so much for choosing my channel today and watching my video. Take care. I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.